This video will give you a groundwork understanding of how the Cosmere actually works so that you know what to look for while reading Brandon Sanderson's books. Hello World Hoppers, welcome to Cosmere Horizons, your one-stop shop for everything Cosmere. This is Cosmere 101, understanding the basics of the Cosmere. This video will be completely spoiler-free. It's just to help you understand certain conversations that are going to happen and help you pick up on certain Easter eggs you wouldn't have picked up on earlier. Because it's so cool when they connect. So let's talk about the gods of the Cosmere. In the beginning, there was God. Was he man? Was he spirit? Was he a Nintendo Wii? We don't really know. Adonalcium was his name, and he made some planets, and made some races, and did some cool stuff. No, he did not make every planet in the Cosmere. That comes later. But there was a group of individuals, for various different reasons, that wanted Adonalcium gone. Then the shattering took place. We don't really know what this is yet. This split Adonalcium's power into 16 different pieces, and each of those pieces was picked up by one of the members who killed God. I love that killing God is a recurring theme in the Cosmere. So these 16 different slices of power are called shards, and the 16 individuals that picked them up are the vessels of those shards. Anytime you see a god in the Cosmere, it is one of these 16 vessels. Granted, I'm not talking about a king that they refer to as a god. I'm talking about specifically something or someone with omnipotence and a lot of power. Each of the shards are named after a trait. That's how you know it's a shard. If it has godlike powers and is named after a trait, it is most definitely a shard. While I won't tell you the name of all 16, part of the fun is finding them for yourself, I will give you the example of one. Mercy is one of the 16 shards. Have fun finding the 15 other ones. No, you might find some people refer to a shard as the name of their vessel, and some people refer to the shard as the name of the shard. So if you get confused in that regard, that's what that means. A lot of the shattering and what happens to Adonalcium will be covered in Brandon Sanderson's trilogy called Dragonsteel, which he plans to write far into the future. It'll be the second to last thing he writes in the Cosmere, before the last era of Mistborn. So we got some time. Let's move on to Investiture. Investiture is magic fuel. Anytime you see anything magical happening in the Cosmere, it is due to Investiture. Adonalcium, the ultimate god that I mentioned earlier who died, was likely made of raw Investiture. Or maybe he wasn't. Like I said, we don't know. I'm sorry. Investiture is basically a bunch of AA's that let people fly. It's a really bad explanation of it. So different beings, individuals, humans, other races, they can be a different level of invested. The most highly invested thing that you will see in the Cosmere are the vessels / shards of Adonalcium. But being invested is a spectrum. You will see people who are naturally more invested than others, therefore having more abilities. But also Investiture just kind of works differently on different planets, and that's because different shards live there. The shards that are on a planet affect how the Investiture works on that planet. Let's talk about the 3 realms of the Cosmere. There's the physical realm, where you can touch, see. That's basically where 90% of everything takes place, is on the physical realm. Like, it's where you can see things, touch things, live, breathe, planets, everything. That's in the physical realm. There's also the cognitive realm, which is the realm of thought. How things see themselves, including objects, affect how the world there works. Also, in this land, where there's land in the physical realm, there's water there, and where there's water in the physical realm, there's land. It's really cool. There's also the spiritual realm, and very little is known about this place, and anything that I can go into is too spoilery. We know it's where the spirit of something lives. Ergo, there's a lot of investiture here. Perpendicularities are a fun one. So you've probably been wondering, how do people travel between realms? Well, each shard has what's known as a perpendicularity. This is what can be used to travel between realms. There are other ways, but perpendicularities are the main way. 80% of the time when you see a perpendicularity, it looks like a pool or a lake or something like that, and it's just filled with raw investiture. Perpendicularities can be used for other than just traversing the realms, but that is one way that they can be used. And lastly, let's talk about everyone's favorite hawkish-faced man, Hoid. Hoid is definitely the main character of the Cosmere. Hoid is what's known as a world hopper. He hops between different worlds of the Cosmere, because not all of them are on the same planet. He's also really annoying sometimes, but like in the most lovable way. There are other world hoppers than just Hoid, however. Through various different means, they travel to different planets, and you can catch them in different books. However, they often use different names than their original names, so just be wary of that. Hoid is in every book. He's often described as having a hawkish face, and his role varies from side character to just a small cameo. In some of Sanderson's smaller novellas, he's just referenced because the story's not long enough to add him in. He also is the narrator of Trust of the Emerald Sea and Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, which is just fun. So if you spot Hoid, now you know. Also, Dragonsteel, which will be the first thing written in the Cosmere, and Mistborn Era 4 will feature Hoid as the main character, which I think is pretty cool. And there is your course on Cosmere 101. Whew! Subscribe to see future Cosmere content and watch this video if you want to see the difference between Stormlight Archive and Mistborn. Alright, that's the most serious you'll see me being for a video. Dear Lord, that was a lot of energy. Subscribe, please. Oh, alright, that's the video. Bye. Oh, I need to stretch.